It's been 9 months. A lot has happened, and nothing has happened. Hello, and welcome back to the Point and Click Devlog, an ongoing series in which making a game is really bloody slow, actually. So, we're getting towards the end of the year now, unbelievably. I started this project and devlog in March this year, just at the start of the first COVID lockdown here in the UK. And as I've now been told a bunch of times, I think I started making this game the wrong way. As it turns out, conventional wisdom seems to be that when you're making a point and click game, what you want to do is make an incredibly crude proof of concept version of it before you do anything else. So, make a functioning point and click game with placeholder art, see that it works, and then fill everything in afterwards. Even Wadget Eye's Dave Gilbert, who I interviewed in the last episode, can be seen here working with placeholder art in order to focus on actual game dev. Now, if you've been watching this series from the start, you'll know that I created my puzzle dependency chart and design document, and since then I've been slaving away on backdrops for every room in the game. But the more people I've spoken to in the interim months, the more I'm told that this probably isn't the right way to go about it. And my approach is the sole reason why I think this devlog is unlike all the others, for good and bad. Naming no names here, but have you ever watched a devlog where episode 1 starts and the dev basically has a functioning game up and running already? I have, there are loads of them. And I get why this happens. People start a project and then somewhere later down the line think maybe a devlog would be a good idea, but they've already done loads of it. It's a little bit jarring to be introduced to a project when that project is basically already at the proof of concept stage, right? I'm not saying that this series here is better than any of those, of course, but well, when I started this devlog, my game was a Word document, and a half-finished one at that. The point of this series, as I see it, is to document the journey to making a point-and-click game from nothing, from quite literally just an idea, and as one person. And opting to do all the backgrounds first is the main reason that this is the world's only devlog, where 9 months and 15 episodes later, there is still no game to show. And that's not to mention the fact that I've even been unable to show any new artwork recently because I've been working on endgame backdrops that I'd like to keep unspoiled. Which basically is a very ranty way of saying two things. One, thank you for sticking with me even though nothing's happened, despite the fact that it's been long enough to gestate a human being. And two, they are done. The backdrops are now finally done, to the point that I think they should be in order to move on. A few episodes back, I outlined my scope of work for this whole project and said that I'd spend until the very end of this year tweaking and refining those backdrops until they were 100% perfect. Now though, on the advice of tons of people, I am adjusting that somewhat. I think now I've definitely made enough of a runway to be able to start actually making stuff work, which is to say I'm going to skip polishing those backdrops and start on the next thing, designing my main character and working towards getting him walking around them. I'm going to start actually developing a computer game, in other words. So what does that mean will come next? Well, I'm going to detail the process of getting that guy moving around in an animation program, and then it will be time to fire up a game engine, for real. And that's another thing that's changed since I last discussed it. I think I'm now going to use the Adventure Creator plugin for Unity, and there are a few reasons for this change of heart. One is that I think it's probably worth getting my head around Unity over any other game engine, even if I don't know how to code. Unity is, after all, one of the biggest game engines around and is therefore, a mainstay modern standard. The second is that making the game in Unity should hopefully make porting the game to other platforms easier down the line. And the third is that Dexter Stardust in the community Discord server pretty much single-handedly converted me to the idea by singing Adventure Creator's praises. To a coding Luddite like myself, that one recommendation went a very long way. Thing is, at the time of writing, not only do I not know how to use Unity, I haven't even installed the thing. As I said, this devlog is an experiment to see if a single person with no experience can make a full-length functioning point-and-click adventure game. And when I say no experience, surely this proves that I really do mean it. In devlog terms, that means that when I get to exploring Unity and Adventure Creator, you'll be doing it alongside me. To the point where I'm going to need to figure out the very basic fundamentals of how Unity looks and works. I might title those subsequent videos with the word tutorial every now and again for the sake of SEO, but make no mistake, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, and I think it's fun to show as much on this channel. What I hope that means is that if I manage to make a game at the end of this process, there is no reason on earth that you can't either. And if you're watching this series, I assume that's what you want to do. So I guess what I'm saying is, let's do this together, yeah? As a quick side note, it's pretty amazing to me that this channel is now closer to 1,000 subscribers than it is to 0. I remember being blown away when 10 people had opted to subscribe. The notion that it might be 1,000 at some point is just bonkers, so, thanks very much for being here. Anyway, next time I will be taking another little break from talking about my game to post an interview I recently had with Joel from Clifftop Games. That's the guy behind 2 of my favourite modern point-and-click adventures, Cathy Rain and Whispers of a Machine. So stay tuned for that one, and be sure to check out my chat with Dave Gilbert if you've missed that. I will link it below. Discord and Twitter links are in the description too, and I hope to see you popping up in either of those. If not, look, no worries, have a great week, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.